Good morning and welcome everyone to Presence of Light with Charlie Riverman Bergeron here on Humanity Healing. And we thank you for being here. Good morning. It's always a joy to come in here. Sometimes I never know whether I'm live or not. After all of these years of doing this, technology has a way of inviting us all to feel stupid. uh, they can't leave anything just as it is. They have to keep tweaking things. Much like us as humans, um, this is part of our nature. So why wouldn't what we create uh, react and do things that we do naturally? Today's topic is worthiness and trust. So it's an amazing process for all of us to go through what we're going through right now. This distortion, this inability to fully understand what is really taking place um, on all levels. And the two words that came to me this morning were worthiness and trust. After a long period of blankness, I didn't know what it was. There was another word that came through, and it came through and it left. So I pulled a card from little card from A Course in Sayings and A Course in Miracles. And that set the stage. That was the thing that I needed. And this quote from A Course in Miracles is, really a simple one. Good morning, Terry. This is really a fairly simple one, yet it encapsulates um, a lot of what we need to focus on and how we are to react to things. So I'll read it. It will be given you to see your brother's worth when all you want for him is peace. And what you want for him, you will receive. It's relatively simple. It's what we want for others, we receive. It's reciprocity. And the two words that came up was when I read the word worth were worthiness and trust. And so the word worthiness is really an interesting word because it has a lot of um, expressions. When we talk about worthiness, we can look at the worthiness of a commodity or a product, but when we talk about ourselves being worthy, what does that mean? Do we really think about worthiness? For me, I can't say that I really have focused on it, but I certainly know when I don't feel worthy, when I feel unworthy. And, those moments when I do feel worthy, it's an exaltation. It's a powerful energy where I feel good about myself. And when I'm unworthy, we just feel very negative, depressed. Worthiness. How are you feeling? Do you feel worthy in this moment, in this world that we can't fully understand anymore? We question, why is all of this happening? And of course, we come up with answers because that's who we are. We're these beautiful brains that seeks and finds. And if it doesn't find anything, it'll create something. This is the computer. This is the original computer right here in this skull. Human one, right? So worthiness, when I looked up um, synonyms for it, or acronyms, whatever they are, I got ability, quality, value, dignity, and an ability to be trusted. And this is where the trust came up, was to arrive at this moment in our human lives where we are being tested to trust. People may say, well, what are we being tested to trust? We're being tested to trust ourselves. Each one of us have a unique connection to what we call source, God, higher self, angels, spirits, who are all part of this quantum field that we're learning about, this oneness of everything, all working together, not I, me, mine, separating everything. So, unworthiness, as I say this, is telling me that feeling unworthy is feeling separated. We're not part. We have no value. What we do is either not good enough or looked down upon or we're judged for it. And in that moment, when we come into that unworthiness, we don't trust. We begin not to trust anyone. We start to believe that everyone and everything around us is pointed at us because we're unworthy. Now, I'm sure psychologists can ramble on for days and hours, and there's tomes of books on this. It's not who I am, not what I do. But what I do is I look at this within myself, and I ask each of you to look within yourselves and ask yourselves, where are you feeling unworthy? Where are you feeling not trusting? And know that in the process of all of this, that each of us is being reminded that our peace comes from within us, not outside of us. The peace comes from within us. The trust comes from within us. No one else can do this for us. What others can do is encourage us, but we are the ones who have to actually create the trust. And in that moment, the healing. Right now, what I see and we all see is global distortion. It's not just here in the United States. It's not there just in France. It's not just in England. It's not just in China or Russia or India or Australia or any of those lands that are around them. Everywhere around the world, if you look, there is distress. There is pain and suffering. There's hunger. There are people killing each other for no reason at all, or for reasons that could be discussed and worked out. We have children killing children without blinking an eye and claiming they're innocent. How do you become innocent of killing someone? You're not innocent. You killed them. This world of doing harm to each other has really created a web of untrust and unworthiness. Look in your own families. Look in your own families. Look at the distortion. Look at the walling off. One person believes in this and the other one believes in other, and they can't communicate anymore. Your own families can't communicate. What does that do to our worthiness? If we're no longer accepted by our families because of what we think or what we believe. The word is separation. That's what it creates, is separation. And there's an old saying, divide and conquer. Do you want to be conquered? I don't want to be conquered. I want to live my life in a fairly consistent flow. How is the flow of your life going since this virus appeared? And the hopes for curing and stabilizing it have been like a roller coaster. And now we're on wave or hill number 5 or whatever. It's a roller coaster ride of emotional distress. And this is the global distortion. I don't think Mother Earth is that distorted. I think Mother Earth, we're seeing from Mother Earth that there's a lot of shifts and changes. We've got earthquakes, we've got weather problems, we've got a lot of things going on that I would consider natural disasters. Is that caused by our distrust? Is that caused by our neglect of respecting the worthiness of Mother Earth? We could take sides, like everything. We could take sides. I'm a yes, you're a no. And what does that do? When we take sides, we create a separation. And then what we do is we put our faith in what we think. We put our trust in what we think and what we've been told and what we supposedly know. And then we say, I'm willing to die for that. Why are you willing to die for anything? Where did this concept come from? Willing to die to be right. When I look at that, I find, how crazy is that? What an insane statement. I'm willing to die and give up my life because of my brain thinks something. Who am I? What am I? Who are you? What are you? What's happening is this distortion that's being projected by a lack of trust. That's all it is a lack of trust. Is being generated at many, many different levels. And that's what we need to look at. It's not just about the brain, not just about our belief system, it's not just about our physical body. It's happening on all dimensions of that because all dimensions of that are connected together. It's the electromagnetic fields. It's what we're now understanding as the quantum field. There is no disconnection in the quantum field. Everything is connected. Everything has a response and an action. And nothing can take control of the quantum field. Nothing can do that. Doesn't mean that we aren't, as humans, trying to do that, because we've tried to control planet Earth. Haven't done too well, have we? We're still killing the forests, polluting the waters that are the source of our living here. Not too bright, I would say. Not too bright thinking. Poisons, viruses, create all in wanting to, we create problems in order to create solutions and make ourselves feel powerful by creating solutions to problems we created. Um, Somewhere there's probably a book that says that's a good representation of insanity. Are we insane? Maybe. Maybe it's a collective insanity. I don't feel that way. I feel that each one of us have the power and the will to change things within ourselves without relying on everybody else, without buying into the stories of take this and 5 times, do this 3 times. Each one of us are born with the intelligence to survive. And we don't survive only because we don't follow that intelligence. We don't trust it. And we have been taught not to trust it. We have been taught not to feel worthy. The world has taught us that we are not worthy. Only the people with billions of paper dollars and all this power are worthy. You and I, we are the slave forces. Made to believe, oh, you've got freedom until we take it away. You've got gasoline until we charge you $5 a gallon for it. You've got food until we don't deliver it anymore. This is not the way we are to live in the future. And that whole paradigm is collapsing. And that whole paradigm is trying to save its own butt. It has no concern for us. That group wants to go to Mars, inhabit Mars, while Earth is burning. This is history repeating itself over and over again. It's the fractal. It's the Mandelbrot picture, always evolving into the same and yet different. So today sounds like pretty depressing. It's supposed to be trust and respect. What I want to say to you all is that it's shifting our conscious awareness of who we are and realizing that we are living in a world where we are no longer trusting ourselves, we're no longer respecting ourselves, and therefore we're not feeling worthy of living. And in that moment, we become, our whole physical system responds. Never mind what's coming from outside, but from inside, when we do not trust and we do not feel worthy, our immune system goes down. And when our immune system starts to fail because of inner energy, energy in motion, emotions, everything starts to get hit with what's coming at it from outside of the bodies. This bodies and this our energy fields are protectors of the heart. And I'm going to come back to the heart because without the heart, we don't exist. And the heart is far more than just pumping blood. It has an intelligence of its own. It feeds the brain more information than the brain feeds it. We've forgotten, or we've been told, no, rely on him, rely on the head, rely on the head. This is where the trust goes crazy, and this is where the worthiness gets confused. Come back into your hearts. All of our major illnesses are basically caused from lack of trust and unworthiness. Our immune system is affected by lack of trust and unworthiness. I have no medical or scientific basis for this other than my own inner knowing that when I'm in a state of lack of trust or unworthiness, nothing looks good. I try to make things look good and I get 5 minutes of something good, but go right back into that funk. And when we're in that funk, what happens is our whole immune system now technically goes to shift that energy because we have low energy. So it feeds it. And while it's feeding it, we become more susceptible to viruses, diseases, germs, all of these things that exist in our world that in a normal healthy state, we have relatively little um, effect by. But when we're weakened to the point where we can't trust ourselves, we can't admire ourselves as being whole and complete, our immune system drops all the way down to almost zero. Now, when you couple that with fear, fear, we have to remember, is a tool. It's a signal system in our body. It's an alarm system that tells us that something's wrong, something's wrong, something's wrong. But instead of being frozen in that fear, its intention was to get us to react through trust, trusting ourselves to find a way out, to find a solution. And so these are root causes right now that the virus and other diseases latch onto and get a foothold in our physical bodies. And medicine is wonderful. Medicine doesn't cure us. This is why now they're going after genetic codes. They're going after the structure, the inner structure of our physicality. They want to know what genetic codes they can manipulate in order to create superhumans. We already are superhumans. Whose idea is it what they want to create is really beneficial to us? Or will we come to learn that we've created demons and monsters 30, 40 years down the road? I bring this up because this is where our lack of trust comes. This is where our self worth comes. Are we a commodity? They've just made water a commodity, and water is life. No water, no humans, no birds, no trees, no water, no vegetables, no grass, no computers, because nobody will make them. There's nothing left without water. And if we have water that is not healthy to the system and it pollutes the system, we become more vulnerable. So, what I'm saying is not good news for all of us, but I just want to bring this awareness to everybody that each one of us have the power to shift and change that. To get rid of the lack of trust, locate where it is, where our self worth is, knowing that all of those weaken our immune system, become more aware of the negative way we commit to things, find the root causes of our problems, which are a lot of them are in our head from childhood. It's trauma. The trauma that we have lived in our whole life now because of the shifts and changes of the energies and the frequencies around us are now open to be released. But as they're released, they're being fed with fear. So it creates a compound situation where we're easily controlled. And what we have to do is release all those traumas and realize that those traumas are not my self worth. Those traumas are not my trust. Those traumas are actions that were done when I could not understand what was happening. And in that moment, I became untrustworthy. I became less than who I truly am. I want you all to come back to who you truly are, these beautiful beings of peace, light, and love. To let go as the traumas come up, become aware of them. I know they're painful. I know they're deep. And say, I release you. I no longer have the desire to carry you around with me. I am not you. You have made me feel worthless. You have made me not appreciate life. And when we come back to who we are inside that field of love, magic happens. We start to regain our health. We start to regain our memory. We start to regain all of the things that has slowly been just taken away from us unknowingly, innocently. We're innocent. We didn't ask for all of this. We were living in the dream of something better, a false peaceful world. We all dream of peace and harmony, but we fail to create it because it's in the creating process that we use that it fails. And until we come together and work on ourselves individually and start to recognize who we are in truth and what we have to offer to the world from within our hearts, none of this is going to change. Well, it will change, but it's going to take a lot longer time. I ask you to bring in the light, bring in the love, that you're incredible beings. Each and every one of you have something so positive to give to another. And if you just focus on giving that positive energy to each other. I know we're critics. I know we're all critical. I'm not out of the picture. But when I get to those moments, I have to stop, take a breath, and say, "Dear, but for the grace of God, go I." And in my last words here was, healing by regaining our worthiness and trust is an inside job. And we have always been the best medicine for that, by seeing beautiful and healed self in each other and treating them with respect and kindness that trust and worthiness are nurtured with. Nurtured. Not a lovely word, nurtured. I want to be nurtured. I want to be nurtured by me. I want to learn to love me at that deep level. We are incredible beings, created not to control or be controlled by anyone or anything. It's time to come back into our sovereignty, which doesn't mean ruling over others. It means being truly honest within ourselves and living to the highest expectations of that harmony and balance that we really are. Yesterday at the Global Heart Team, I wrote a poem, which I write for every Global Heart Team um, group. And I want to read it here because the topic was the magical heart. And the Global Heart Team, we're a group that encourage people to send love to the world, to send love to each other. And we just do a little meditation, a little 10-minute meditation, and we're guided into it. And we just allow ourselves to send love wherever it wants to go without taking on a cause. And I encourage everybody to take maybe 10 minutes a day and just send love to the world. And these are the words that came through me. It's called Magical Heart, but magical is spelled Magikal. And if you look at up under, I can't think of different dictionary. It's the Urban Dictionary. Urban Dictionary has a different meaning than the regular dictionaries. So if you look up the word magical, look it up under the Urban Dictionary. And here is what is written that I offer you today in blessings of what may have been somewhat of a downer talk, but it's a talk of awareness that if we can learn to bring ourselves out and up and into our hearts, back into this beautiful energy field that we are, and honor that and resist and block all of those energetic frequencies and words and solutions that the world is coming up with to elevate a few and push down the others. Keep the separation moving. Will be better. So this is the magical heart. This will be the pleasant part of the stock. Each of us is present in a field of love, which moves in all directions from a very sacred point. A wellspring deep within our heart that never ceases to offer its pure water to all who seek to quench their thirst. Our thirst for love, is merely a seeking of the fulfillment and wholeness we receive from beyond our physical bodies. It is the source of our true self, the beingness of all that is seen or touched, as our bodies engage with many life forms. The magic of it all is held in the trusting of our own precious loving presence, embracing and transforming the darkness into light. Heart and earth are comprised of the same letters and the same powerful energies of love, which we are here to connect and share alike. Let us open our hearts broader and wider, embracing each other in a global manner, remembering to share our magical hearts with all. Bless you all and thank you all for being here and listening whenever you can, tapping into this. I just bring this to you just as a point of awareness. I'm not here as a perfectionist. I'm not here as some guru. I'm just here just like you are, trying to figure this out and moving through all of the motions myself, the motions and emotions. And so the bottom line is what I'm learning is that my trust and worthiness is an inside job. Can't be done by somebody else. Can't be done for us. Can't be done to us. It's a choice we have to make. We have to make it relatively soon, because the more and the sooner we make that choice to honor who we truly are and live that life, the sooner everything else around us will change. The world is waiting on us. I love you. I love you. I thank you. I respect you. I am you. You are me. We are unity, one heart, one love. As we, excuse me, move through these powerful days in the next couple of weeks and head to embrace 2022, which will be a year of great changes, may the first changes we make be within our own hearts. So over these next few weeks, think about yourself and how you're going to express yourself in the future. And know that you have the power. You are the power that the world is looking for to shift its course back into the right position. If you have a good week, bless you all and thank you all. And may spirit be with you.